Oh, there's so much. Thank you, Mario.
Okay, so this is it's kind of a repeat, but it's so important. We should probably do it every night for a month or two. Tonight we're going to think about what is specialness. Of Course in Miracles, this is a key term for us. And the idea of specialness is so critical or so essential to how the ego operates. The entire range of your emotions here in the body have something to do with specialness.
Oh, yeah, tell me.
So, yeah. So it's worth spending a few moments thinking about answering for yourself now. What does specialness mean, and what does Course in Miracles mean by specialness?
Suffering.
Try to not only to define it, but then, as we usually do, feel it. Feel what it means to you. Specialness. Let's just think about that for a few minutes. What does it mean to be special? What does it mean to be not special? Now, be honest. What does it feel like when somebody says to you, "My, you are special"? And what does it feel like when you think to yourself, "I'm not special"? Why does A Course in Miracles spend so much time on this idea of ego specialness? what might the Course call the cost of your needing or wanting to be special? And now, finally, dig deep. Be honest. Discover what's true for you right now. When I ask you, do you want to be special? Would you like that? Specialness. Mario, would you rotate that white dial on the wall over there? Bring some lights up. Specialness.
Is that cool?
Yeah, thanks. What does it mean to be special? Webster's definition is fine. The Course is not diverging from that.
Different.
Different.
Some on sale.
Something special. Something on sale. Got to get it now. If it's on sale, you got to get it now. It's on special. It's not always this way. It's this way today. And,
Yeah.
and if you go out to your car to get your wallet, it may not be here when you get back.
Right.
It's valuable now, and it may not be so valuable. It wasn't as valuable yesterday when it was full price. It was only fair. It was only the normal value. No, today it's special. What else can you think about?
My first one was invitation.
Invitation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Invitation.
Yeah.
You want to say more?
I don't think it's. You don't have to say more. It's just like an invitation.
Okay. Indeed. Indeed it is.
And that's how I took it.
Okay. Invitation is now. Now's the time. This is an invitation. Now. Because it's special today.
Right now.
Or I'm special right now. I just won the Piano Concerto Award for Santa Cruz County for soloist. And I want you all to recognize that before somebody else wins it. on the next competition. Or before the glow on my face goes away. Because I think I could have done better. I actually think I could have played better. You know, there was that chord in the middle. My foot slipped off the pedal. People said it didn't matter to me. But right now, I got the invitation to say I'm special. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The I is a big part of this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You want to say more?
Yeah, I don't know how you can. It's so difficult to get around the I.
Yes.
It can be done, but it's very difficult.
How does it feel?
As long as I'm in the I,
Yeah.
it's like the eye of the bloody storm. Life is full of conflicts and stress and on and on.
So if you close your eyes,
Doesn't matter.
Say this phrase. We are special. We are special. And go ahead. You brought this up. Say we are special out loud. So go ahead.
We are special.
Yeah. Now,
That rings terribly for me.
I'm telling you.
Makes me cringe.
Now, say out loud, I am special.
I am special. Whoa. We are special.
Yeah, everybody can do it all together. We are special.
Yeah.
We are special. That has a certain energy. It's got a certain, it's kind of nice ring to it, doesn't it? Yeah. This is all ego we're talking about here.
Trouble.
Okay? It was all ego. Specialness is a measure of the ego. Okay. Now, let's say out loud on 3, I am special. 1, 2, 3. I am special.
Oh, I didn't.
Isn't that
I
different?
can't say that.
Come on, Dick. Just once.
he's special. But
Jason said it for you.
It's so,
Did it feel different?
so far against.
All right, now what is, I don't know, what's the benefit of being special? All of us have been special in one way or another. You did something, you said something, you provided something, you did something, you knew something, gave something, have something, thought something. All of us have been special and been told we were special, or thought we should have been recognized as being special. That tofu cacciatore, you thought, genius, right? Yeah, thought so.
that sounds like that. Where they get that term, me, myself, and I.
Mm-hmm. The whole party?
Yeah, the whole party.
Thought you were special?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it feels, what does it feel like? Good, because you actually made that greatest dessert. You actually showed up and helped those people who needed your advice or your car. Nobody else loaned their car. You said, here's my keys. You were special for a moment. Nobody else stood for it. You did. You had that certain garment or ability to make it at the last minute for the wedding, and now the wedding dress has a bow on it, and it just works. You're special. Nobody else could make a bow like you did. You didn't ask, don't give me credit, but you were good. It's important, this paragraph we're going to read, that everybody here remembers how it felt to be special. When we get into this reading, it's going to be quite important. How you felt when you actually genuinely, you did something. You were, okay, all right, I was special. I was good.
My thought about being special was being in a place of love, and when I don't feel special, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
So I like feeling special.
Uh-huh.
And being in love, being in the place of love is both internal and external.
Uh-huh.
To me.
Sure. When they come together, the internal and the external come together. Like, you're the one who can play the piano and bring music to the party. You're kind of special. I mean, it really is. I think it is. Play piano. What's wonderful. What a gift. Yeah.
To me, I mean, specialness. It's about individuality. It's who I am. It's what I identify myself as. Mm-hmm. Being miserable or
mm-hmm.
Talented or whatnot.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I think
And that's kind of what Dick said. If the I, you can't get away from the I. The more as a specialist gets recognized, what's special? Well, I.
Yeah.
Ego
I'm
loves it.
Singer, or I'm
that's great.
a talented singer.
Yes.
Everybody loves me. How dare you talk to me like that? Things
Yes.
like that.
Or nobody is as wicked or depressed as I am.
Yeah.
Nobody is as upset or depressed as me. That's it. Boy, I'll tell you. You guys have seen bad, but you've never seen as bad as me. What I'm feeling. That's specialness. I am the most miserable, depressed person you've ever met. That's how special I am, and I want you to recognize that. And maybe a few tears is appropriate right about now. When I tell you how...
Stop talking about me.
Yeah. My story is so sad. When you hear it, you will cry.
So that becomes like specialty.
Isn't it special?
Specialty.
Because David's got a tough story, but, come on. My story? Involving the puppy and my mother getting out of prison and the train wreck and, narrowly escaping. You got to hear my story, okay? Special. Now, specialness.
Yeah, the other day, a friend of mine came and I said something about how much I have to learn in this life, and she said, what I like about you, that you never try to be better, or you're already so much better and you never take credit for it. And it made me feel so good and kind of strange, oh my God, she's beating my ego. I felt special at the moment that I'm not trying to be special. I'm like, how do I get out of this one?
Yes. Ochi has got a very, very subtle point that we need to get into here. It's like a very sweet, sweet poison. Isn't it?
Aren't the best ones always sweet? Oh, I'm
Please.
so special. I brought this.
You're so special. You're so special. Well, yeah, because it feels good. Because it feels good. Somebody points out that you're special and you're good. Oh, God, you're so smart. And you're so advanced and, Yep. Sweet point. Now, let's switch to the other side of that coin. What's the cost of Course in Miracles? Why does Course in Miracles spend so much time on this thing that feels so good? What's the problem?
So when we're special, there's someone not special?
Yes. If there's someone special, you are compared to even yourself before, which didn't merit the accolades you're getting now. Even if it's just you, it's all you. Well, I really sucked before, but I'm good now. Yep.
But then you're going to suck again.
Exactly. You know what suck means, and you have just idolized it by saying, I don't suck now. This is the slippery slope of the ego. It throws shadows. The ego recognizes shadows or contrasts.
That's why I developed time.
Yes, indeed. Time is a way of absolutely demarcating.
If you suck before and you don't suck now, and you suck again. That gives you continual.
Yeah.
Lose yourself in.
Yeah. And a margin between them. Time gives you a margin between events. It separates cause and effect. Time does. Yep. Throws a shadow. Course has a wonderful phrase. Hopefully Wendy's thinking of it right about now. He says, let no one moment cast its shadow on another.
That's really nice.
You need to go home and write that down.
Yeah. 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 Pretty pithy.
When do I want to forget? When do I want to let it go? Now.
Now would be a good time.
Now.
That's right.
How long do I want to suffer? How long do you want to? When do you want to let it go? Now.
Now. Yeah. Now here's this is tough. I should ask this during our meditation. Be honest.
Because it's all fun.
Think about your friends, your children, your loved ones. I want to ask you this question. Do you want somebody else to feel special?
Everybody feels special.
I mean, that's what your friend did for you. She just wanted to say how much she loved you and appreciated you, and she wanted you to keep it up because you were leading the way. And don't stop leading the way. Don't be turning around asking me for help tomorrow. You keep smiling and accelerating
You want to make somebody else
and
special.
pull everybody else with you, please.
Partner.
Yeah. But it's a nice thing. We want somebody to feel special.
Honestly, I do not.
You don't.
Yes,
Tell me more.
Responsibility on me
Ah.
that I don't want to take on. I've been feeling a lot of exclusion. Like my mind is really, I think it's really loud. The ego's voice is really loud inside my head. Like it tells me that I'm being excluded or that I'm special. It's all about specialness, and it's not a good feeling. So I just want to be one, and so I can just blend in and just forget about all this loud noise. Right?
Do you like feeling special? Like you've done something good? Somebody
I
says,
do not.
Somebody
No.
says, "Thank you so much, Mai. It's too much of a burden."
I don't like that. I feel uncomfortable actually when someone gives me a compliment. Yeah.
How about if somebody does something for you? Does somebody waited a long time, or come up with some money or some roses or some compliment or some insight, and actually listen to you, and
No, that's fine.
and then you say what to them? You say thank you.
Right.
And do you want them to receive that? You want them to be lifted by what they did? They spent so much effort to finally figure out your problem, and then I get it here. You want to have them feel a little special. Do you want them to feel special? Do you want that gratitude to have an effect?
I don't know. I can care less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah. It's whatever they want to feel. It's their action.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's okay.
I do a lot of gratitude and so working on feeding them like how special they are.
I do that too.
And especially at work too. Sometimes I'm consciously feeding people's ego just because I feel they're going to have relief from stress. And I feel like, well, let me talk to the egos instead of them cooking and those bad thoughts. And it just works every time.
I do the same thing. I find out what it is that they think that they're good at, and I tell them though, that yes, I think you're good at it too. And then we join for a few moments, laughing on how good they are. But it feels good to me. It seems to feel good to them. Yeah, and I have a new friend. I do that a lot.
That's the ego dance, right?
Oh, yeah, it's
Is
ego
that a
dance.
people pleaser thing?
It's a people pleaser. It's
I do
it's
that.
people pleasing.
I do that too.
It's there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a
You
manipulation.
find something that you
It's
believe
a good
is
one.
true.
Yeah, seems so friendly. Yeah.
Part of business.
Yeah. Business, yes. It is indeed. It is indeed. Yeah. Yeah. And remember, the Course in Miracles is not about behavior. This book and what we're studying is not about what you say or what you do. Yep. It's what you think of what you set out as a goal before you say it or you do it. Yes. It's helping us set an intention that would be considered right thinking, or returning to oneness, or ending duality, or choosing spirit over material, or choosing, heaven over hell. These are all what miracle does, all of those things. It switches you, shifts your perception from the limited and small to the unlimited and no size. So it's not about what you say. You can do these ego feeding compliments, and you do it from love. Let me tell you, it feels that way. It feels like love. When you do it from manipulation, it smells like that.
It smells like that.
It does.
Yeah.
Like it's manipulation. We are so our ability to read each other is so fine. What's the word I'm looking for? It's so subtle. Mm-hmm. It's Ray. What's the word?
Fine is really good.
Attuned. Yes. In fact, there was a science podcast I listened to recently, and the entire study was about microexpressions.
Very small.
It's very small. The littlest crease here, the littlest nostril flare. Boy, our eyes pick that up, and it means a lot when somebody's talking to you and their nostrils flare. I don't care how tight, even their shoulders and how even their speech is. Mm-hmm. When they say thank you, you read that. Yeah. Boy, you got the truth from the micro expression. Okay, that's how subtle and so fine we are. So I say it again. Anything that you say, the body is for communication, and when you say it with love, it is understood as loving. It's picked up. It's transmitted in an amazing 1,000 ways. Tone of voice, shape of face, shoulders, but all these smallest little expressions.
Sometimes you can even hear it over the phone.
Yeah. Oh,
like
yes.
You can tell the other person is smiling.
Yes. Sometimes it's just in the pause between the words. Mm-hmm. And you're reading into why aren't they just saying it? Yes, Marcia, I thank you very much for saying that. What is she trying to say?
Well, don't I feel special?
Yeah. I'm not sure what to say about that. Yeah, you bet. You bet. Okay, so don't think you're getting away with the manipulation, I think is Jason's point. And if you're feeling love and true gratitude, let it pour. This is an ego game if it's manipulation, and it's a joining game if it's true gratitude. Absolutely. That's the progenitor, the on-ramp, the beginning. What makes? Love. We can afford to be grateful and say thank you. Most of us can't quite afford to say I love you. We can say thank you. It's a fine line between the two. Okay. All right, so there's a little feel for that.
Can you say a little more about that?
Oh, yes. So... yeah.
Thank you.
Well, this is really important. This is a great... I just came in meditation or something years ago. This is so wonderful. We say thank you. When you say, Marcia, thank you. When I say thank you, am I not receiving verbally something you did? I say thank you. You know that I got it. Mm-hmm. Andrew, did you get that picture I left for you? I did. Thank you. I received, and then what did I do?
Send it back.
Right, I gave. See? So giving and receiving are the same. Course in Miracles is teaching us that as you give, that's when you receive. You don't receive, you will not receive only. It's what guilt is made of. Wow, Dick, I really don't deserve this. Thanks.
Guilt here too.
Yeah, well, you just gave this to me?
Can you afford it?
Right.
Yeah, I got 4 of those already.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's how it really works. We just read that. How the ego gives something of very little value with a lot more in respecting in return. Ray won't tell me he has 4 or 14 of these. He won't, but he'll hand it to me like this. Andrew, I really would like you. I'd like you to have this. He's just it looks so special, right? No, they're filling the trunk of his car, and he's got to do something with it. How can I get rid of these things? Andrew, I thought of you when I saw this.
Oh, that's pretty good. You're pretty convincing.
But you know, but genuine thank you is, it really is recognizing, David, that I'm receiving something that you said to me or gave to me, and now I would like to. Wow, I got to just give it back. Thank you. So I'm recognizing my receiving it, and so are you. But I don't care what's going on in your head. What's really happening to me is I have to say something. I have to say thank you for that. Really, thank you. See, that's my receiving it. Now I've accepted it. I've said it out loud. I said thank you out loud. So I'm acknowledging your gift. Thank you. So now that means I'm finally receiving all of her gift. Now she recognizes, and I recognize, that it's from her. This thing that she did for me. That completes the gift, see? Gratitude is very, very special. Good word. Gratitude is a wonderful, wonderful, low-cost thing that enacts what the Course calls the law of love. What is the law of love? As you give, you receive. As you give, you receive. Now, the Course is very clever with this, because if I give this thing in the material world to you, I don't have it. What? How's that receiving? Now she has it.
The ego, giving is losing.
Right. To the ego, giving has a cost, and it means it goes from here, this separate place, to that separate place. Course in Miracles is trying to teach us this is not, that truth is not of form. That the laws of form are not true. And we're moving ourselves away from the material to the spiritual. That's what a miracle does. A miracle is a shift from the material laws to the spiritual laws. Where, as you give, that's when you receive. As I gave it to her, the gift was received to me in the giving. Marcia, I want you to have this. I got this from Ray. He said it was very special. But you know what? I see that.
That's so kind.
You have a set.
I'm going to pass, but that's really kind.
They come in a set of 4. You only have 3. Now you have 4. But the idea of gratitude, I'm so lucky to be able to have this when she needs it. She needs 4 and she only has 3. I get to give it to her. This doesn't mean anything. It's the idea that I got to give. That was my gift, my receiving, and my own gift. Now, it's a gift that grows as you give it. There's another qualification in the Course, in the Manual for Teachers.
Like extension. Exactly.
It's a matter of extension. Now we're moving away from the material. Definitely, when this is over there, I don't have it. That's not extension. That is duality. That is separation. When I give it to her and it's gone, it's separation. When I give gratitude, it's extension of how I feel, offering to you, but just by me saying it, I'm so glad I got a chance to thank you for this. I didn't know if I'd see you again. So thank you. Bye. Didn't I just get myself a gift? That's it. This is, as it gives, it grows. There's many, many, many things that as you give them, they grow, but they're not things.
It's the giving.
For example, if I give you trust, we've moved away from the material to the spiritual, the direction of spiritual. If I say, Marcia, I really trust you. I really trust you. I feel a little better than I've told you. And you say, yeah, great. Trust is a really great thing in a relationship. It's not one of those essences of love. I can say I trust you, Ray. It's hard to say I love you. That's a bit much. I'd like to, really. If I knew you better. I have a chance to test you some. Maybe I could say I love you. If you're lucky, I'll tell you.
If you're lucky.
Right? But I can be honest with you for now. I'm willing to be honest with you. Well, good place to start. Because I trust you. I'm willing to be honest with you because I trust you. We're starting to negotiate in the right direction. Because as honesty and trust rise, are we not entering into what we call good relationships? Because the opposite is, Ray, I'm sorry, I just don't trust you. So I'm not going to tell you everything right now. Maybe later. It's falling. We're going back into the world of material and division and cost. That's why gratitude, thank you. It's a nice, convenient little way to actually enter into the room of love. Even if you don't want to hear thank you, because you, Andrew, I had 14 of them in my trunk. I almost threw them out. I just happened to give you one because you look like a nice guy. Maybe you could use one. That doesn't matter. I'm grateful. It doesn't matter what you think. I'm grateful. I can use this, Ray. It's perfect for what I need. That is not material. I want to tell him. I feel gratitude. I want a chance to express it. Yeah.
So yesterday, it was my friend's birthday, and I wanted to give her something that's hard for me to give. And I asked my heart what it'd be, and it picked as my favorite little thing in my altar. And I could not think of anything else. Why this thing? Why are you telling me it's like so hard? So anyway, I tore it up my heart, and suddenly I felt it easy to give. Like it suddenly felt easy. But as I was giving it, I felt this need to say, it's very special to me what I'm giving, even though it's this simple thing. And I felt like by saying it's very special to me was somehow feeding my ego. But I cannot figure out why did it feel like I was feeding my ego by saying it's very special to me.
Yes.
Why I could not just give it as if it's special or not special and just be special to me?
Yes.
So why is that feeling like it didn't feel right when you saying that?
Yeah.
It's almost like she was experienced a little bit of a loss when she gave it.
That's it.
Okay.
That's the loss occurred.
The ego kind of felt a little bit of... Oh, yeah.
The ego was measuring, as the ego always does, a loss. Well, it's so good of you to give this, but you know what? It's going to hurt a little bit. You won't have this.
You take it from the altar?
Ooh, see, it lost. He's like, oh, that's big.
From the church? I'm teasing you. Where's the crucifix?
But get that feeling there, because can I really say thank you? Like we were saying a moment ago, you said it. You were like, thanks, but no thanks, because it's a loss for me. I don't want to accept this from you, Andrew. I don't need it. I want more of those things, or I don't want to be beholden to you. If I say thank you, that means I appreciate it. You can do it again. These are reasons why we don't say I love you, because of the cost of the contract that's implied. If I say I love you, we've moved to a whole nother level of contract. In the ego's world. In the ego's world. It's all ego. This paragraph we're going to read is definitely, we're talking about catching the ego and one of its little ways of giving things. Yep.
Now it's just catching myself, saying that to my son. Hey, son, I love you. And he tells Dad, I love you. But we have this dance.
Yeah.
But it's so good because it doesn't mean anything. And right. The thing is that... but what I'm saying is that when I do it somewhere else...
Yes.
It's like quicksand.
Yep, like quicksand.
You know what I mean? I guess.
Yes, I do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Huh?
Like quicksand.
Oh.
You know quicksand?
I know quicksand, but how
once you get in it, it sucks you in. And you can't get out. You might die in it.
That was a good analogy.
That's quicksand.
But I'm just saying that unconditional love.
That was a good analogy. I have to say that's my favorite.
First, you can't breathe, and then you die. Yeah.
I was using that unconditional love with the son deal.
Yes. See,
when we say it, it's just like you really mean it.
No. I want to say this. Now, I've said this before. We haven't got into it deeply. We probably won't tonight either. But father and son is a whole different world of relationship. your child, your relationship you have with your child, or you have with blood, it's different.
Special.
Course calls it out. You can say I love you as a pre-written contract. Because it's your son, even if you can't stand the kid. You have to. I love you, you little rat. It's a little different. It's a little different. Still special. Okay, it's still special. But anybody here with kids or close family, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Especially on a dog.
Well, yeah. That's right. Your dog. You bet. Dogs become family. They absolutely do. Yeah. It's a little different with humans. Deeper still.
You have your dog peeing on the carpet. Compare you washing your neighbor's dog and he's peeing on the carpet.
Right.
Exactly.
You're going to be
yes.
Or your baby poop rather than somebody else poop.
That's right. Yeah, the neighbor's baby came and pooped. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like
other
poop.
Yeah.
Somebody else's dog on your lawn.
That's right.
Same
That's right.
thing. That's good.
Yeah, and we'll get into that when we get to the holy relationship. We'll touch on that, and because there's a different kind of connection or inability to separate, and not a desire to separate deeply. That's very important. We'll discuss that when we get there. I just want you to feel gratitude for a moment, though. That as you give it, it actually grows. It sure does for you. You want to say, God, I wish it was I was here so I could say thank you. You see what she did for me? I wish I could say, oh, she's here. Boom. Now I can finally complete the receiving of the gift, and the giving of the gift is complete.
You know
It's like it's a lot.
You gotta give
a little love packet.
That can go
It's
on
very low
all
cost.
day long, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you feeling? So you're feeling that?
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
when I'm out in the world and interacting with somebody I'm doing some sort of business with, mostly it's the kind of in environments where people hear complaints and never thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I always say thank you, and it confuses them. People appreciate it, but they're so unused to it.
Yeah.
It kind of blows them away.
Yeah.
But it's sort of one of my revelations.
But you feel
Nice.
it expands
Nice.
our hearts when we say
Nice.
Yeah,
It does.
Good to do that. I mean, it's just what I
So
want to do.
that's one thing.
But the reaction is interesting.
Yeah.
You put in your life what you have in your life. That's what you taught.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm feeling sad or hurt or something, if I reach out and say something loving that I really feel for that person, even though they've been screaming or whatever, then all of a sudden, if I could do that, then it changes.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I feel the love that I was extending.
Yes. It changed.
Even though that's not a normal reaction, the ego thing to do.
Yeah.
You think if somebody's telling you, you're going to what if you do that? Wow, it changes how you feel. And that doesn't matter.
It changes how you feel. Yeah, and it actually changes what you're experiencing. The whole experience. Let's. Well, nobody's in the book yet. Let's jump to page 400 and.
Wow, getting big here.
Yeah, we're just gonna jump ahead for a minute. I just want to read a paragraph. He's paying attention. It's page somewhere around 460. It's 445. 445.
Oh, have it underlined. It says.
Yeah, this is one of the most.
Page again?
This is page 445, chapter 21, the introduction to chapter 21. And this is one of the more sobering and nicely quoted paragraphs in the Course, because it's just so what A Course in Miracles is about. This is the whole book, the whole teaching is once again stated here. This is page 445, chapter 21, introduction. It says, 3 words. First sentence is 3 words, and it's just the whole Course. Okay, ready?
Wow.
Projection makes perception.
Wow.
Wendy here was just saying, if I can say something loving about that person, I feel better.
Yeah.
Even in the worst moments, if I can find one thing to be grateful for that person, it breaks the spell.
I did that.
Uh-huh.
2:30 in the morning and it worked.
Yeah, okay. Why? And so we're going to tell why. So read why right here. It says, the world you see is what you gave it. Nothing more than that.
You see what you want to see.
Yes. As you give, you receive.
So you can love someone from a distance?
Yes. Even if they're dead?
Okay.
Yes. That's correct. And you will feel that. What's important here is that you will have an experience of love if you think thoughts of love. It's about the experience, folks. This is what's going to move us away from the rules of the ego. The laws of materialism are separation and duality. I only have this as long as I can touch it. The minute I give it to her, I lose it. Material.
Question.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to apply what we teach in real life.
Sure.
My sister sent me some gifts from Europe with my mom, and I was so grateful to receive them. I felt this gratitude, and yet I completely forgot to call her and thank her. Like it just did not even appeal to me, and I was wondering, was I truly grateful, or actually I didn't care? So, like, how valuable it's actually to reach out to the person. Like, to reach out would make it real?
No. No, there's no...
She felt bad that I didn't...
That's her problem. If she felt bad that you didn't contact, it was not a freely given gift. It was not a freely given gift. Like I said a moment ago, to give is to receive. So she did not receive her own gift. She was waiting for... It had a cost to it, which
she
was...
She felt like maybe I didn't like it, and maybe she didn't get the right thing.
Exactly. All those...
She was attached to that.
Complexities of the ego.
Using
judgments.
Yeah, right.
Giving was strange. You want something back.
Yeah.
Maybe my mom made it up.
You guys have heard this too. Look, I want you to have this, but if you don't like it, the receipt's
almost
inside.
Everybody does.
Have you heard that? You ever done that? I'll give you this gift, but the receipt's inside. So I don't know if you like it. I just want to give it to you. That's a gift. I hope you like it.
But then they want you to know how much you spent.
But it's not a burden. It's not. I don't want you to.
Only if it's $100 or more. Put the receipt.
I've had people give gift receipts with no price on them. I've seen that too. I don't know if it works.
No,
You get to the store.
No, I know what you mean.
But you know what I'm trying to say? I don't mean to burden you with one of these. I thought you would like it, but I don't really know. But I really enjoyed buying it for you.
Right, because it was in my head that you might like it.
It was in my head that you might like it, and I felt really good buying it, holding on to it till your birthday, and now I gave it to you, and I feel great.
That's like texting.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean,
Texting.
Texting.
For example, happy birthday. Did you get my text?
Yeah. It's a quick gift. Okay, a text is a gift. Feels good to text. Yeah. It's a little more like beef Wellington, though, don't you think?
The real world.
Okay.
Texting. What does that have to do with the real world?
One day he barked out, "It's like beef Wellington." And I couldn't answer. I didn't know what to do with that.
Some people
You remember
are
that?
like that, though, I have to admit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like beef Wellington?
No, yeah, well, what Mario just said,
Yeah. No, texting is very intimate, it turns out.
Well, that's...
Right?
I mean...
Right underneath the wire.
You can actually hear the voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. No, texting is very interesting. They're
But it's perception.
Yeah, well,
They're sharing information.
And it's yes. Instantaneous little bit.
Strange.
You tend to text people you're close to. Truth, because it's so few words. Yeah, you do something simple, maybe.
It's kind of like I'm giving you this information because I care, and you should be grateful that
I'm thinking of
giving
you.
this information.
Or I'm just thinking of you.
Yeah, right. And so it's a nice, cheap little communication. Connection. Yeah. People love
Most people
text.
text their significant others throughout the day. Do most people do that? I don't know.
Well,
I know a lot of couples that just text each other all day long. I never do that.
Why it's like texting, not deep learning.
Okay, tell us.
Well, because you're throwing out and I see you, I'm thinking about you.
Even though you're not here.
That requires no response. You don't know when they're going to...
Oh, right. Uh-huh.
It really requires no response.
This is true.
To get into a thing where we feel like we have to respond. It's just It's a message in a bottle.
Nice, nice.
And there's a dance in there too.
You're
just waiting for
yes.
for the good song.
That's right. There's this dance. You're waiting to take the next step. You don't know when. It's kind of mysterious.
We'll see each other
low
someday,
cost. But you get my little text. You'll read this.
No need for return.
You'll find this on your phone. Yeah.
That's quite an intense little couple paragraphs
there. Yeah.
Projection makes perception.
The world you see is what you gave it, nothing more than that. But though it's not more than that, it's not less than what you gave it. The point here is...
You get whatever you see.
Projection makes perception. What you see, what you identify is what you see.
That's why.
Well, that's why I was saying about love.
That creates a lot of suffering if it's not.
You can have love at a distance without interrupting it. Because once you interrupt it...
What's lesson number 2? In the workbook, lesson number 2.
I give everything I see all the meaning.
I give everything I see all the meaning it has for me. Projection makes perception.
That explains the suffering in this world.
Yes, and why some people suffer and other people don't over the same circumstances. Remember we found a gun in here one night. Thank you for that prop, Ray. I still wonder if you played it. Ray's like, oh God, he's right giggling.
Really that one.
They're going to love it when they find this gun in here.
You know, because there was fear.
These Holy Course in Miracles, let's see what they do with this gun. It's a real gun. It's a real gun. And so we have some people in here that says, I really don't want to be in a spiritual meeting with a gun. Please take it out of the room. Other people said, can't we work with this? Let's look at, there's a fear. I got fear. And this is a book about letting go of your fear. Let's keep the gun in the room for a little while. This kind of things that happen.
Yeah. He was talking about an analogy with a knife. You know, people think of, well, a knife is just a piece of metal with a blade, or it could be something that stabs. It all depends on the perception. It could be a neutral thing or, you know.
Yeah, a nice piece of polished stainless steel. What's that?
Or a butcher's tool.
I think that therapy modality is special, and you should name it after you.
Yeah, the Santa Cruz gun therapy.
How about Santa Cruz?
But Mario here,
Meetup.
Mario knows things about knives.
He's a butcher.
He knows about sharp knives, dull knives, those big chopper babies that go right through bone, the cleaver. He knows about different pieces. They're just pieces of metal.
Leave it to cleaver.
All right, they're finely polished, sharpened pieces of metal. To him, they're a tool. And please, if I have to have a knife, make it sharp. I'd like a decent grip. Because he uses them a lot. Other people, that is nothing but bad news. It's a big, huge, sharp piece of metal. It's too sharp, it's too big, and it's going to be dangerous, and somebody's going to get hurt. That is not a good thing, right? So projection makes perception.
So true.
Somebody else is a metallurgist and said, that is a 608 stainless steel. You put it in the bottom of the ocean for 1,000 years and it looked exactly the same as the day you put it in. Did you know that? With 608 stainless? Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, it's great. That's what he's thinking. Somebody else says that's just like the knife that was used in the murder last week. Projection makes perception. This is A Course in Miracles in 3 words.
Could you just sum up your whole counseling session with somebody in therapy and just say perception makes projection? Okay, dismissed.
3 words. That's it. That's it. It's a little longer than Bob Newhart's version. What's that?
We have to walk the road and kick the stones a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Ease it in, and close the session with that, maybe. And give him a T-shirt.
It's like that YouTube, stop it, remember? The counselor says, just stop it. You remember that? Did you see it?
This is,
it's the best one
I'm
on
just looking
counseling.
at a few sentences here. We're not going to go into this right now.
Well, we're going to do this paragraph. Because so projection makes perception, all right, is nothing less than more than that. Therefore, to you, it is important. Projection is important.
Oh boy.
It's your world, folks.
Yeah.
It is the witness. Projection is the witness to your state of mind.
Oh boy, I'm busted on that.
Now here it comes. This is the experience of the world in an ego and a body.
Therefore you are.
The outside picture of an inward condition. Of course, elsewhere it says, if you want to know what you believe,
Wow, outside picture of inward condition.
open your eyes and look around. That's what you believe.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. He's fat. She's thin.
You see what you want to see.
And you
Way
hear what you
too-
want to hear. The
Yes,
point.
exactly. You see what you want to see. It's
That's
a
the point. That's
self-fulfilling prophecy. Think about that. A self-fulfilling prophecy. Projection makes perception. What you see is what you see.
Yeah.
A self-fulfilling prophecy. I think that person is fat, therefore I see him as fat.
Watch where you're pointing.
Okay?
He's like, oh, and that.
So it's just important. Seek no further than your own thoughts, okay, is the end of the day, right? Here we go. Now, let's go further.
This is really good.
Okay. See, he says it again. He's so redundant. It's so important. Whenever this book says something 7 times in a row, it's worth paying attention to. Okay? So it's a witness to your state of mind, comma, that's what. The outside picture of an inward condition. There it is again. Here it is again. As a man thinketh, so does he perceive. You can't get around that. It's lesson number 2 in the workbook. It's in this paragraph 7 times in a row or however many. Take this deeply. This is a simple definition of the entire book's teaching.
Oh my
It's what salvation
Just
is.
simmers it down to just.
You remember that? This is how salvation is described. You remember that? Dick, you got to remember that in chapter 27. One of your favorite chapters.
Yes.
He says salvation is this. You did this unto yourself.
No.
Period. Okay, now sentence
No way
7.
around that one. Huh?
Therefore, seek not to change the world, but to choose to change your mind about the world.
That is, for me, very difficult sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ego's in there kicking full bore sometimes.
Yes.
To change.
Yes. It was also said, I forget which spiritual person said this, somebody remind me, that it's much easier to wear a set of slippers than to carpet the whole world.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
You put shoes on. Instead of trying to carpet the world everywhere, just put on a pair of shoes.
Wow, that is real. Is that a Buddhist thing? That's
Isn't that
really
changing
good.
your feet instead of changing the world?
Oh, I love that one.
That's what we're talking
That's
about.
what we're saying right
We're saying
here.
you change your mind, you change your perception of what you're seeing. Another way to say it is, want what you have, and you will have what you want. This is simple math, and it's absolutely
I
true.
gotta write that down.
This is how you can live without conflict, without struggle, without argument.
I like that one. That one's good.
All right, I gotta write that down.
Do you see the circle in it? When I say those words, you can't help but see the circle. The self-fulfilling prophecy. As you see it, that's how you will see it. Seek no further. Don't ask anybody else. You're the authority. You are your teacher. You are the student. And you are the teacher.
What?
So you give the lesson and receive it. The circle again. The self-fulfilling prophecy again. How about this one, the law of love? As you give, you receive. So if you're feeling down, she just put it to real use, 2:30 in the morning. She was feeling so empty and so at loss and so not loved. So she just tried to put this to work and said, must be something I love about that S-O-B. Well, I do love it when he does this. And her heart opened. Her heart opened. Her tears stopped flowing. She says, I do really love it when he does. Nobody else can do that. And then I received it. But that's not even required because her heart lifted. Great if it goes.
My heart lifted.
That's great.
You did all the action.
If it works out there, that's.
Yeah,
but that's not the real benefit. You know, the real benefit is not what it does out there. You live in your head. Seek not to change the world.
You change yourself.
But,
Mostly your thoughts.
but, at some point you also, you can change yourself, but you also...
You don't have to be a doormat.
No, of course not.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, change the situation too.
Yes.
It's like an addiction. You just kick the habit, right? It's like an addiction. You kick the habit.
I mean, to get abused. So if we start loving that person, it means we start loving ourselves, and it easier would be making choice to leaving it. That relationship that's not working.
Yeah. Before you leave, because remember, the Course is not about form, and that you do not need to stay in any relationship or get into any relationship so that you can be enlightened. This Course is not about form in any way. It is about the content of your mind. That's the only thing that survives. It's where the truth abides. Where you actually abide is not any form or any particular relationship. Now, so the Course would say before you leave that, if that's what you're going to do, you're free. It's just a big game now. You can have a lot of love. You can experience a lot of love, a lot of approximations of love in this world. And you can experience a lot of hate in this world, a lot of anger and attack in this world. And what the Course is saying is, well, choose love when you can. Start with peace. Choose peace. You'll like it. Because it knows what you really want. Let's say the only way you can see peace is by getting out of that relationship. Gotta go. Gotta leave. The Course would say, before you run and leave something darkness behind, out of reach, come to peace first. Choose peace first.
Yes.
Choose peace first. And in the Bible it says it this way. It says turn the other cheek. It says walk a second mile. So that you know you're not a victim to that. The ego would love you just to run and never actually forgive. That person doesn't. Because that way you don't have the shadow, this deep-seated heavy anchor pulling on you and saying, that was horrible. You should have seen what I've been through. You tell a story for a lifetime. And you'll never be able to repair it.
Wow.
Of course you can repair it at any time, as we learn what forgiveness really is here.
Because it's going to bite. But you have to face it.
If you face it, you're not in the fantasy of how harmful it's going to be.
You're not a victim to it.
You're not a victim to it. When you face it. Now this includes people who've already died, passed away. Wow. If you say, my father was such a SOB, or your ex-husband or wife was so mean and cruel, this is exactly the world that you're going to get, because projection makes perception. You're going to perceive that as harmful to you, which means you lost.
Yeah.
You know what loss feels like?
Yeah.
It feels really bad. Ego would say, you lost with that. You
failed.
And your best friends of the world, your best ego friends, we're going to say, oh, you lost badly. I'm sorry for you. It sucks to be you. Here, come over here and just put your head on my shoulder and cry a little bit, you poor person who lost so badly over that. I can't believe you put up with that for so long. How much of your life did that person waste? Do you feel better now?
No. You feel hopeless.
Watch the ego dance, okay? Because I'm making you special.
Terrible.
I'm making you special with those comments. Well, we'll get to it too. I'm making you special, but somehow I think it's good. See how twisted, right? This is a slippery slope. Projection makes perception, right? Now, here we go. Let me just finish it up.
It comes back at you.
Yeah.
It comes back at
In my experience, there's an awful lot of people who don't want to hear that when they're pissing and moaning about how this or that sucks, or so and so just wasn't nice enough to me, or something like that. And you say, well, it's your
dream?
It's what you've decided that means that's hurting you.
And it's your dream.
Right, you're going to get the finger. You uncompassionate.
Yes, I know.
Telling me it's my problem?
So you could say it was your projection, which made your perception.
You wouldn't keep doing that to yourself.
Course in Miracles is a very personal journey. We don't go into the hospital, the cancer ward, and say, get out of that bed. There's no such thing as, there's no sickness, and there's sure as hell no body. Yeah. And here you are, both of them. You're doubling up here in illusion, so says Paige. No, not at all. Not at all. because that's mixing levels. We're getting in. We're trying to fix the material with the spiritual. That's completely
That's
backwards.
fearful for the ego.
Absolutely. So
if
that's.
somebody says, sorry.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
My parents were mean to me. They didn't.
Yeah.
It's not compassionate to just throw that at them.
Yeah. They're savoring it.
You could hold that presence of truth for them, but you don't have to say that.
What do you say then?
No, you don't say it, but you could feel that presence of seeing the perfection in that person.
If somebody comes to you and says, my parents are so awful, they never helped me, blah blah blah. But they went on, a lot of trips and this and that, but they didn't have any money to spare for me. And
all I got is this T-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. All I got is this T-shirt. What do you say? What do you say to somebody then?
So, the key to relationships is joining.
Joining with you.
If you were to deny them, if you were somehow, that would cause a separation. So in a situation like that, you would listen. You'd be compassionate. This is what compassion is. You would join them from their perspective, but you would not support it.
You might be sorry they feel that way.
You would not agree with their opinion of their sorry state in you. But you listen to them describing it.
So if you say, oh poor baby, come and put your head here and cry a while, is that the right thing to do? Or
remember what I said earlier.
There's an old therapist called Carl Rogers. I don't know if you remember.
Wait, too many people are talking.
He put together just what Andrew was saying. He just stepped it right in.
Wow.
He was really good. He's a good person to read. He's dead, but he has some good things to say. It would answer what you're...
I think you're focusing too much on the form.
You wouldn't see him as a victim. You wouldn't see them as a victim in your mind, and that would be powerful without even what you said, because you could hold that place that they can't hold.
You might not want to do that because that might interfere with their problem.
The key is what we said earlier, and that is, from where does whether you say or whether you do something or you give them the shoulder,
comes from love.
Exactly. From where does it come? If it comes from you feeling so that they're so pathetic and that is so bad, believe me, it's going to be communicated. And you're not helping. That's why so many people who go out to do charity out of guilt bring their guilt and their sorrow to those people who are hurting and say, oh, you poor, let me get you off the street. You're so dirty. You must.
My guilt.
Yeah. I'll help you for one day and I'll feel better while I tell you how horrible you have. I just want you to know I know how horrible it must be for you because you look pathetic.
Around the corner, I'm going to dance.
Right. I did it. I helped for a day. You gotta be careful. With charity. It has that certain ego. What's the word?
Spiritual ego.
Involvement, willful involvement dance we've been using tonight. An ego dance can definitely occur around charity. Okay, but the exact same act, the exact same words, the exact same person with the exact same inflicted. If it comes from love and true joining, it's felt. The microexpressions will communicate that you're really there with compassion. Compassion is another thing like gratitude.
Love.
That is a very inexpensive form of love. It doesn't have this big contract attached to it. You may practice compassion, and you will receive compassion as you give compassion.
So how can you tell if it's spiritual points?
Spiritual points?
What does that mean?
Well, when you do something, you get points.
Oh, ego.
Where the hell did that come from?
Mean gold stars?
Well, do they keep score in heaven?
I guess Mario keeps scores.
Oh, we got to finish this paragraph.
Get gold stars.
Okay. All right. Therefore, seek not to change the world, but to choose to change your mind about the world. Put on a set of slippers instead of trying to carpet the entire planet.
I really like that.
It's really easier, and it's practical.
I love that.
And if you're going to give advice to anybody else, let's talk slippers. Instead of buy as much carpet as you can. Yeah, okay.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Perception is... Oh, by the way, Lisa, the answer to your question is you would simply not hold the opinion the other person's having himself in your head. Whatever you say or do, it will come through. When you say, here, it's okay. You know what? It really is okay. Because you see that they're not actually harmed.
Oh, good point.
You don't see
Yeah,
real harm in
good.
this. It will come through.
And they
They'll say,
won't
I don't
see
know.
the fear in it.
I am dealing with this cancer, but when I'm around Lisa, it's just not a problem. Because you don't see it as a problem.
Because you're not fearful of it.
It comes through. That's my point. It's in your head. And you can say whatever you like. Whatever seems appropriate.
Yeah.
But get your head straight first. Get your heart straight. If you're feeling afflicted, it's probably better to be quiet.
I really like what you said about, couples or something like that, or any kind of relationship, that make it peaceful or settle it, make it loving first before you take off or do something.
Yes.
Not turning the other
really
cheek.
like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. This is the essence of forgiveness and the release. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because they can carry that the rest of their life if they haven't made peace with it. Thank you for reminding me that he said that, because you kind of highlighted it for me.
Yep. There's always a gratitude available. And gratitude is the quickest way to do that is gratitude.
And,
no matter how bad it was.
In the book, in that same sentence, wherever it says that, it says, turn the other cheek, and to go the extra mile if a brother asks you to do something that is just so unbelievably unnatural. And not just to be a good person, but to prove to yourself that it really isn't such an obstacle to your peace.
Mm-hmm.
To prove it to yourself, not to say, okay, I'll just turn the other cheek and I'll be the big one. But so that you get it, that, you know what, it's not going to kill you to do it. In fact, it doesn't even have to take away your peace to do it. But if you don't, then you will always think it's an obstacle to your peace that they're asking so much.
That's right. That's right. And it's not the obstacle that you thought it was.
I tried that one.
The Sufis say it beautifully. The Sufis say it like this. They say, take the bitter pill so that you will know it's not more bitter than it is.
Oh, wow.
If you never take the pill, that's a bitter pill, you'll never know how bitter. Oh, God, I've heard that's so bitter. I've heard it's so bitter. Ugh.
That's really good.
No, go ahead and take it, and then you'll know it's not bitter.
That's kind of like fear.
It's
right?
like
when
fear.
When you sit with it and welcome it and sit with it, all of a sudden it dissipates. Rooming, it dissipates.
And we talked about fantasy a few weeks ago. That was our meditation. And a fantasy is something you're thinking that is not real, not tested, but you're nonetheless thinking and responding to it. So Sufis say, go ahead, take that pill, so that you know it's not more bitter than it is. Because you're thinking it's more bitter than it is, probably.
Always.
You're probably thinking things are a lot worse than they actually are.
Yeah, you're right.
Go do it. Go ahead to that person you've been fighting with for 16 years, and just go say, you know what, I don't want to fight anymore.
The idea of it is worse, right?
Yeah, you're right. You know, I'm right, you're right. Anthony DeMello says it this way. He says, Anthony DeMello, one of my favorite spiritual guys. He says, he's kind of the East-West guy. He says, this is what he said, forgive me for the language, okay, but this is really what he says. You're an ass. I'm an ass too. Now we're settled? Are we even?
But I think that's it. That you hit the nail on the head when you said, I'm right and you're right. Or you're right and I'm right.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
We're the
being
same.
able to hold that duality.
Yeah. Tell the person they're right. Because, in their head they are.
Or maybe they have to.
If it's been 16 years, they really think they're right.
Their perception is that they are.
16 years.
What do you mean if it's been 16 years or what?
If they've been saying they're right for 16 years, they think they're right.
Or they have to be right.
Oh, yeah. Well, you just tell them they're right.
But if you say you're right, it's going to remove their rightness from them. So why even go there then, unless you say that only they are right?
Yeah, and you can only say it if it doesn't matter. And the Course in Miracles, Course in Miracles will help you release the things that matter. Turns out it's a very short list. It's so short that I'm making a joke out of it by even saying it's short.
So if it doesn't matter, why not to say only you are right?
Or just say you can be right this time. That's her
what
line.
I say.
You could be right this time,
You
she
can be
tells
right
her
today, and
husband.
the fight stops instantly.
You could be right today, she says.
I appreciate.
This takes all the wind out of it.
I appreciate your point of view. Tell me more.
Yeah, right.
But
This
that
is
means you don't think
huge.
he's right, but you just said, you know.
You think that's going to be
There's no
bitter?
push. There's no
I'm not
push.
fighting about it. I don't care.
You think you're going to give up a lot of control if you say,
That's really good.
tell me more about your... I believe you think you're right. Why don't you tell me more? You think you're going to lose all sorts of energy, all sorts of points, all sorts of leverage, right? Don't you think you're going to lose leverage if you say, well, all right.
Here goes the fire.
I believe.
You think they're going to unload on you
I believe.
and crush
I
you.
think you're right.
I don't defend
Tell me
myself
more.
at all when someone has an opinion about me. I mean, that's their perception, and that's what they want to see. in
Yes,
me.
yes. Would you ask them to tell you more about what they want to see in you?
Yes, I would. Yes.
Beautiful.
Why do you think that way? Or you know what I mean? Or tell me more. What
Instead of why, you might say how.
Yeah, how.
And that gives them a little more credit. A little less judgment. Terms will be used.
How is it?
And now you're asking them. It changes the dynamic entirely.
Oh, I got
Your
it.
ego says, don't do that. You'll start admitting that they're right if you do that, says the ego. But as we read in the inner chapter 15, the opposite occurs.
So it's accepting criticism, like you're saying?
It's inviting the other person to speak what they think is true.
Because in their perception, they are right, because that's how they see it.
That's the case. But it's more...
So you're not just saying they're right, but they are right based on how they're saying it.
And more importantly, you're willing to share.
You're willing to join.
So by doing that, you're understanding where you're at. I mean...
They also
You're joining.
Are no longer meaning to defend because you let them be heard.
Okay.
And you ask them to be heard. Now, this is very important. We hit this in chapter 15, and the ego says this is weak. You're weakening your stance by letting them, by telling them they might be right. Why don't you tell me more? Whoa. Actually, they're going to put down their weapons and say, all right, let me put my weapons down. This is how I see it. Their voice is going to go calm. There'll be less swearing. You're going to be quiet.
Forget to do that.
You're going to actually get their truth. And then what are they going to do when they're all done talking? Anybody?
Apologize.
Anybody?
They're going to love you for
Hold
having
their
heard.
They're going to love you forever.
They're going to feel loved. They feel heard. They
Hold
feel
their
seen. They feel
Accepted.
accepted.
Understood.
They didn't have to defend.
You gave them a few gifts like patience, understanding,
Right.
trust to keep speaking.
I used to work with kids. That was what, and people would say, "You're so good with kids. I've never seen anything like it." It was not magic. I treated them like people, and I listened.
They're so full of something.
I took them for who they were.
You let them.
That's what everybody
Yes.
wants.
That was a big relationship
Yes.
thing.
So if they don't end up, and often they will, they'll end up apologizing when they've just split it all out. They might also say,
I think you're right.
as they're trying to catch their breath from getting it all out, okay, all right, and one more thing. And they'll say that too. And Ray is just there saying, tell me more. Well, then there's this thing. I just almost forgot. You remind me of my mother. And now I'm done.
You must hear it all.
All right. Now,
With a mother with a beard?
now Ray's going to give me a moment to say even more. Like, God, he really wants to hear it all. I might say, okay, Ray, what do you think? How do you see it? I might even sit still for it. I might, because he did. This is a different dynamic when you listen. Because it invites listening. You see? Yes, holy. And kindness is transformative. Because kindness itself is kind. All these attributes that we're talking about that grow as you give them away, all the things we talk about, they grow as you give them because of this essence. That they're transformative. Trust, honesty.
I believe I think you're right.
If I'm tolerant, he's going to be tolerant. If I'm tolerant of him, I'm really honest now. If I'm cringing and going, oh, I don't know, I'm taking notes while he's talking, come on. That's what we're talking about. Try to move your mind, open your mind, and put down your weapons. And actually ask them to tell you what they're thinking. and get it all.
Right. The Dalai Lama says something very similar. He says, in the compassion, he says, visualize what it would be like to go through, like have that pill, right?
Yes.
To go through and be there in their place.
Yeah.
Just visualize that.
Yes.
And you reach them a different way.
Absolutely. You take all this ragged energy out of it. You've already been there.
You don't have to agree with it.
No.
You just
Right.
have to say, this is your experience.
Right. Tell me your experience.
Yeah.
Tell me all of it.
And you say, okay, that's your experience.
Jason, is there anything more you want to say?
What do you do with people that talk and require that you agree with them, or they're not happy, or they feel like you
That's
didn't
what he's
hear them
saying.
unless you
He's what
agree?
he's saying. He's agreeing with them.
You say, I want to make sure I understand what you're saying.
You're right.
And you ask questions until you really understand what they're saying. And now you can say, I can't
more
agree.
about
Still don't agree with it.
Then you tell your truth.
If you're coming from a
Tell your
loving
truth
place, you
once.
will understand any truth.
There it is.
Say again.
There's no
If
truth
you're
in
coming from a loving
illusion.
place, you will understand any truth.
But what she's saying is understanding is one thing and that the other person is requiring agreement.
Ochi, do you want to say more? When you're coming from a loving
There is
place.
one answer to all the questions.
Yeah, yes. Now you're going too far. Come back a little bit. You went too far. Yeah. I think what I heard you say, when you're coming from a loving place, you will understand what this person is crying about.
There were so many cases where I was so sure I was right.
Aha.
And every time I felt this pain, I need to forgive, I need to, okay, I'm understanding, but I'm feeling this pain.
Yes.
There was not a single time where I could not, at the end, see where I could have been wrong. At the end.
Yes.
And that taught me that there's always a possibility of you being wrong, even if you never see it.
There's always a different way of seeing it, right?
Sure.
Not just from how we saw it. A
and
different
sometimes
way
you
other
just-
people see it from a different...
You cannot, and you're in pain, and you're in pain,
Oh.
and then when you see it, it's just suddenly, oh my God.
It could have
Okay,
been...
now, there's also this.
From the other person's perception, it could have been totally differently.
Nobody wants something different than you.
Nobody wants something.
They do it differently. They
want
say
love.
it differently.
Right.
We all want the same thing.
We all have the same
Love.
interests.
Yes.
Love and to be loved.
Yes. It's absolutely true.
Wow.
That's a loving space.
That gives you a feeling of oneness.
So when I ask you, what do you mean? And my perception is, how can I see this call for love? You've said as many four-letter words, and I think you even invented a few. When you said you blank. Yeah. But I'm going to use the Holy Spirit to translate that to what it really is. There is nobody who actually intends to harm somebody else. What they intend to get is some kind of satisfaction. I need happiness. I need to feel loved. I need to return somehow to peace. And I think killing you is going to be the fastest way. First, I'm going to insult you and see if you don't run first.
It's so funny hearing Andrew say that.
If you run, that might be enough, but I'm not sure. Because I'm so mad at you for what you did to me. It's always to me.
I want to read something.
Hold on a minute. This is not about the other person. You see, when somebody's angry, it's not about you.
Right.
It can't be. They got their. It's them.
And I'm sorry, when I mentioned that I'm not when I saw it, it's exactly, you just shift perception where you see, wow, that person was in so much pain. Of course they scream this word. Of course they defending that.
There it is.
Of course they hating me.
Yes.
Of course. And then you
Yes.
just come and say, I was wrong. And as soon as you say, I was wrong, they say, you know what, I was wrong.
There you go. That's the deal.
But the thing is that if you let go of from the heart, only then they can let go because
Did you
they
know
feel
to do
it's
that?
true. It's true.
And even if you let go and they don't let go,
I was
then,
wrong. I'm sorry.
It won't affect you.
It's often if you truly let go, it's
No,
unavoidable.
they
It's
stop
only if
defending.
you're still holding on just a little bit subconsciously, then they won't.
They stop defending when you
That's
say...
just the truth of the magic. This is where the magic comes in.
You know, I'm going back to those microexpressions. That the truth of
They
magic
stop
is.
defending when you say you were wrong, right? They stop the defending. Were you married to
I
my
have a
husband?
different experience though.
Were you married to my husband? Because defending, angry, and then I just learned to say you're right, I'm sorry. And then that's the only time the defending stops. It's so unnatural that I didn't know all these years to say that.
I guess you'd have to get in their world with them.
It's not something you would normally do.
Thank you, Lisa. Because until they think you're with them,
You're still beating on the door.
they will beat on the door until you open it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the perfect
Look at
analogy.
it this way.
Thank you, Lisa.
Exactly.
They're watching the movie that they're projecting. I'm watching the movie I'm projecting. Okay. For me, as an editor, to say, no, that's not the movie that I made, the one that you're projecting on me, is immaterial. Their perception of the movie that they're watching is their perception. I have a brother who's convinced that I blamed him for my mother's death.
He wants to hold on to it.
The day of her funeral, we were trying to remember, when her illness started, and it was when she was pregnant with him.
Mm-hmm.
She had been horribly battered 25 years earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Had nothing to do with him. He was in utero.
Mm-hmm.
But he remembers his two older brothers attacking him and his father failing to defend him. On the day of our mother's funeral, none of us were processing very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I harbor bitterness, that he keeps shifting this between his memory of his father and his two brothers. But that's the movie that he sees.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to let go of it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to let go that, he's projected that on me.
Mm-hmm. Now.
But I have to.
Yes.
What if you say, tell me more about that, like you said?
So that's what I need to do.
It's like those pills, those forgiveness pills.
Yes.
If you turn it inside out, it's still forgiveness.
Yes.
So everything that we get trespassed by, you know what I mean?
I believe, I think you're right. Tell me more about that. How is it? How is it? Tell me more about that. How is it? Tell me more about that, but really feel like it.
You see what happens when you
share in his illusion.
If you drop your defense entirely, which is what forgiveness is, you have to drop the idea that there's something to defend against. You really didn't cause me any harm. It's my thoughts about what you said that hurt me. You just said what you said because you're doing your deal. And I listened to it with these ears, and then it went into this brain. It processed those words, it gave them meaning, and then it hurt. If you said it to him, I would care less.
Wow.
Might even laugh. But no, it was to me. See, so you change your mind about this effect on you, and you can listen, and you can be present, and you can be unharmed. It will show up in your microexpressions on your face.
I got to remember this. This could dissipate every single fight.
And then when he looks in that mirror, which will be you, your face,
I got to write.
when he looks in that mirror, he will see a reflection of himself as not hurting you.
I'm going to write it down.
It's the best possible mirror. These micro-reflections, they communicate so deeply and strongly. That's why we say the body is for communication. Because we share them. We both got them. Thanks, Ray.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm so glad that you guys are here.
So this is...
I have to mark that page. I got to go back to that page.
You bet. It's killer. Isn't that great?
Oh.
So much in just a few sentences. Just a few sentences. The whole course.
Good night, Ray.
Yeah. So, let's continue. So, this is crazy. One sentence. So you don't have to change the world, but to choose to change your mind about the world. Perception, this is sentence 8. Perception is a result and not a cause. Boy, is this guy redundant. Hasn't he said this 6 times already? What? Yes.
How long is it going to take to get the message?
It must be a hard one to get.
Yeah,
He
right.
knows. He knows that our heads are thick on this. Remember what we read 2 weeks ago? I am responsible for what I see, what I think, what I feel, and I make the decision of the goal, and then I get what I've decided. That means you did it. You can't blame it on her. You did it.
Instance.
Yeah. That's freedom.
No exception.
No exception. And if you say the opposite, well, I'm not responsible for what he did to me. I'm not responsible for what I see. I'm stuck with it. I'm surrounded by this filth and this hate. And you see how small I'm getting? What a miserable life I'm starting to describe for myself.
Yeah.
That's hell. That's what we call hell. I'm a victim to everything around me. I'm a victim to my body. I'm a victim to my job. I'm a victim to the taxes and the government. I'm a victim to this darn cold fog Santa Cruz gets in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Isn't this California?
Right? His voice.
What the hell? Right? I'm a
We got to get a place in the Actors Theater.
Well, that's what you're going to get. See, that's exactly what you get. Do you see the circle? The self-fulfilling prophecy? The circle, it's always operating. As you give, you receive. Inside your own head. As you give, you receive. Seek no further than your own mind. There's a section in chapter 27 and it's got that title. Close. It's I forget the exact title, but it's that essence. We'll get there eventually. See the circle.
That's a
projection makes perception. Projection makes perception. Go ahead.
I just had a funny thought. You could just call this a course in specialness.
Yes.
Course
it
in
is.
what?
Specialness.
Yes, it is.
Specialness?
Specialness. Yeah. How to undo specialness.
How to undo specialness. So it's a course in specialness.
This is a meeting of Specialness Anonymous.
It's not, it's interesting. It's really not a course.
Mm-hmm.
That's a misnomer, I think, in the title.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's really to help us change our minds,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really to allow us to experience what life is all about,
Mm-hmm.
and to live life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about a course.
Mm-hmm.
We've all had enough damn courses, I think, in
Uh-huh.
the last many lifetimes.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All of which have
Yeah.
proved to be.
Well, it was scribed by an educator. It was scribed by a teacher. She's a professor.
Right.
And the guy who did typewriting was another professor, so they got it in terms of course. And it says text and workbook and manual for teachers because they were actually worked for a university. Okay. All right, so let's continue. Okay, so it's 9, section's 9, and that's why, get this one. This is page 445, chapter 21, introduction. And that's why, so he says, perception is a result and not a cause, a result. The circle, as you give, you receive, remember? Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's why order of difficulty in miracles is meaningless. Because every perception you have has the same source. You. We found the problem.
We found the problem.
And it's
you.
It's us.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
We're the common denominator in every relationship we've been in, right?
Now, is that good news or bad news?
Oh, good news.
Oh, here we go. Here's one who's willing to be empowered. It's good news.
The only thing the word came to my mind was control, which is not the good kind of word.
All right, so we'll work on it a little bit more.
Yeah.
You got to go through the workbook.
Control it, but something else needs to happen.
Something else. You keep thinking on that. Yeah. All right, and it is good news and bad news, isn't it? It's the good news and the bad news.
You busted, but now you can go.
And now you're free. Yeah. Nobody's going to save you, but you don't need saving.
Well,
Oh.
If you're looking at your life and going, this is wrong and that's wrong, it's always good to ask what would you want your hero to do, and then go do it.
Yeah, go be the hero. You bet.
That's nice.
Be your own hero
Yes.
day here.
Yes. Do you see the circle in that? What she just said? She said, "What would your hero do? What would your savior do right now? What would you want your savior to do right now? Think of it,
Yeah.
and then you do that.
So wise.
See the circle?
Yeah.
Be your own hero.
As you give, you receive.
The hero of the dream.
Wow.
No, but no hero,
I'm out of gas.
No hero's going to come from out there to save you.
This so sucks. I ran out of gas in the rain on Highway 1 between the Watsonville exit and Seaside. I don't know. Something's terrible. And you crying, and the world sucks, and this is just getting worse by the moment. What would my hero do? My hero would show up with a gallon of gas. And I would drive this car home and park it in the garage. Lisa puts on her jacket, and she goes and gets a gallon of gas. And she's the hero. Wow. The circle completes. The smallest thoughts we can have that are bugging us. You know what ones I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The ones you wake up with in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
If you don't
the ones we think are trivial. Right?
The ones that keeping you awake. You don't even go. These little thoughts are the ones where you can be the one who gets the gallon of gas and solves the whole problem. Because you're having the thoughts that you're having a problem with. Seek no further than your own mind.
You're having the thoughts.
Imagining and thinking where the trouble
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See? This is empowering. But it is. It's the bad news and it's the good news. Depends on where you are. Okay, so amazing this paragraph, right?
That's good.
So that's what order of difficulty miracles is meaningless. You know, that's an homage to the first page of the book, page 2, where it says the principles of miracles. There's no order of difficulty in miracles. That's the first of 50 miracle principles in the beginning of the book that are explained throughout the book. Okay, now, everything looked upon with vision is healed and holy. When this book says vision, it doesn't mean your eyeballs.
Not at all.
Not your peepers.
Okay?
By no means.
We're bumping it up.
With the quiet voice of the Holy Spirit?
Yes. With the perspective of the Holy Spirit. You got wrong vision. That's with your eyeballs.
Right.
In duality and separation, where you're a victim to what you see. That's wrong. That's wrong. Wrong. Of course, called it sight.
Right.
Wrong vision would be that. Right vision is where the same thing is being seen, but now it's being interpreted with the Holy Spirit. It's being interpreted with right thinking. Wrong thinking is divisive, separating, duality. That's wrong thinking. Yes. It makes you small, cold, hungry, and with no love. Right thinking is
vision goes along
special, right? Right thinking is inclusive. It's sharing. It's gathering. It's uniting. It's giving to receive. Giving to receive. This, huh?
I see the Our Father in here. That prayer.
Our Father, yeah.
No,
you're right.
Will be done.
No,
you're right. Tell me more.
No, the thing is where he's talking about forgive those who trespass against us.
Yes.
And well, you know what I'm saying is this little sentence in there where we're always trespassing in our relationships.
Yes. And
we're always beating ourselves up, but we have to forgive it.
Yes, feel stress against me. Yeah. All right, you can see. Yes, you can see the equality of that.
That's why I'm seeing this.
Certainly. Well, yeah, certainly, because as you give, you get. Sure. Everything looked upon with vision is healed and holy, which means you applied the antidote to those last two words in that sentence. The antidotes to unhealed, which means sick, and unholy, which means evil, or separate. Or painful, special, thank you. The antidote to specialness is holiness, inclusiveness. Not special, shared. All one, not separate.
Oneness.
Yeah.
All shared. Yeah. So we didn't even got to our specialness paragraph. I'll have to do it next week. Okay. So, nothing perceived without vision means anything. What's lesson number 1 in the workbook?
There are no difficulties.
That's the first miracle principle.
Oh.
That's in the text. What's the first lesson? Come on, Mike. Nothing I see means anything.
Gives the meaning.
That's number 2. That's number 2.
I give everything I see all the meaning it has for me.
Dick, you can keep your Course in Miracles card, but maybe only for one more week. You go back and look at the workbook, okay? Look at the workbook.
For a week.
Okay, lesson number 1 in the workbook.
You know, a teacher would make him write it 20 times.
Yeah, on the chalkboard, Dick.
What I see.
Everything. I give everything I see.
I give everything
That's number 2.
That's number 2.
That's 2.
No, we say that a lot. We go to 2 a lot.
1 is difficult for me.
No, it should be.
Nothing
It
I
should
see
be
anything.
because Course in Miracles starts with the end. It starts with the hardest
This
lesson
pencil
of
does
all.
not mean
Right, I
anything.
remember that.
It starts with a short, hard lesson that the ego would absolutely object with and throw the book out the window and say, I want my money back. Because
That's the hardest one.
lesson number 1 is nothing I see. Remember, see was with eyeballs. Nothing I see means anything.
That's why so many people
Period.
burn the book.
That's the lesson.
Yeah.
You're gonna do that all day.
Nothing I see.
But you know what? He's gentle. He says, "Look, only say this once in the morning, once in the evening. Forget about it during the," because he knows you can't take it when you start when you're starting this. This is, but by
It's kind of put me in a tailspin.
yes, indeed.
That's the idea.
Yep. Yeah, remember Barbara? Barbara said it made her depressed.
Yeah.
She's the
you-
first,
Oh, yeah.
the first 30, 40 lessons
Whatever
made her
happened to her?
made her depressed.
She's not here anymore.
Yeah.
She used to be at every meeting.
But then she found strength. When she got past lesson 40, her heart was drained out of all these false hope and fantasies.
She breathes.
I feel like I'm leaching the toxins.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
gonna come
You're
up.
getting like a colon cleanse.
Yeah.
A cleanse.
Jesus.
Going through it and I'm doing fine, but
Yep.
going through it's a little.
Yep. Hey, listen, this book is radical. It is a quick. Shortcuts are steep and difficult, but they don't skip steps. You will still cover the same elevation. You can go around the bottom of the mountain and wind your way up, or you can go straight up the side.
You wind your way down.
You will do the same amount of work.
Some people wind their way down too.
You may go down before you go up, certainly. You guys.
Yeah.
Suicide is so funny in the right perspective, isn't it? Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. As long as it's not yours. Somebody else couldn't handle it.
No. And one of the saviors for me in all this is
What?
I do not know.
Hey, this is what enlightenment looks like, too. If you guys want to see enlightenment, check it out over here. Ochi is having a release. Yeah, she's so special. She's enlightened for a few moments. Yeah. Yeah. She's laughing about somebody else's suicide is breaking her up. That is the funniest thing she's heard in months.
Is that what she's laughing about?
It is so funny.
No, but is that what she's laughing about?
See, she can't hold it in. She can't. It can't contain the absurdity of what Jason said, and the course covers that also.
Don't forget to laugh.
Isn't this beautiful? She can't not laugh. She can't hold it in, and this is what your enlightenment is like too.
Yeah.
Because this world is a joke.
I want to taste some of that. Could you bottle that?
Happy learner.
Happy learner.
Hey,
There's the happy
I'm gonna
learner.
read something. Remember we talked about with the empathy with other people and stuff? It said, you cannot know how to respond to what you do not understand. Be tempted not in this and yield not to the ego's triumph use of empathy towards glory.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? How the ego's
Don't drink the ego's potions.
The ego's triumph.
Yes. All right.
This was a great lesson tonight. It was phenomenal. And it's all recorded. It's all recorded. Even your giggles.
That's right. If she couldn't take it,
That was great.
she must have had it coming.
Yeah.
Thank you for the joke. Thank you for the joke.
Yes, thank you. No.
No. I haven't had it.
No.
What's real?
No. Okay, so if anybody here is new, we just stand up in a circle,
That was a good release.
and then the meeting's over. Well, that's what we do.
Still good.
Well, yes, of course. Not Boris.
Now she's having a hot flash.
Okay. The enlightenment's work, isn't it? Little release there. Get a big release. Couldn't hold it in.
It's been a while.
Good.
Since last while.
Looks good on you.
And it has to be. I think special has to be.
It's really good. Heavier than I look. What? You're heavier than the full heart. Oh, heavier than I look. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. It's a balance.
Take a deep breath. And as you release that, can you all share with a moment what a joke suicide is? Hanging on, didn't hang on, couldn't handle Course in Miracles, I just ended it. Ended it. And that would make you special. It would make your whole life special if you had to somehow end it. No, my life's especially bad.
Oh, that makes it special.
I need to cut it off. And you suicide by Course in Miracles. I'm going to eat this book until I die. I'll show you. Yeah, I have a special death by Course. Yeah.
1,000 pages.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard somebody killed him.
2,000 chocolate bars.
You were ready.
Yeah.
Killed by a blue book.
I'll do it with fewer than 800 pages. Separation. Separation? We're drunk on it. Oh, my special life. Oh, my special needs. Oh, my special victimhood. Specialness, we're drunk on it.
Yeah.
The opposite of specialness,
So bad.
not special, means I'm available. It's a much easier way to be. A much easier way to be. Less demanding, less particular,
Less victimizing.
Less needy.
less needy. Do you want to be around somebody who's needy or not needy? Want what you have? Just right now, okay? I'm not saying dream up, you need to change your life and suddenly not need any money or a house.
And have what you want.
I'm just saying right now, want what you have, and then you will have what you want. You can be that honest just for a moment, just with what you have right now. You only have what you have right now. So it's not a big task. Thank you for coming. Amen.
Thank you.
Whoa.
Thank you, Teach.
Since you both so special, the audience.
Well, this was really
this part of it.
Yes, it was.